I'm going to need everyone to go ahead and come join me down here on the floor because we're going to start our science lesson. So today we're actually going to start a brand new unit. And this unit is going to be over bats. How many of you like bats? Raise your hand. All right. So to understand our unit a little better, we're going to learn some vocabulary. So this is our bat vocabulary. Our first word is hibernation. I want everyone to try to say that with me. Hibernation. That's awesome, guys. So hibernation is when the bats sleep all winter. So they're asleep all winter long. When you're out playing in the snow, they're asleep. Our next word is colony. I want everyone to try to say that with me. Colony. Very good. So a colony is a group of bats sharing a shelter such as a cave. So this would be the equivalent to your house with your family in it. Our next word is pups. Everyone try to say that. Pups. Very good. So pups are baby bats. Our next word is roost. I want everyone to try to say that one. Roost. Very good. A roost is a place where a bat anchors itself to rest. So this is kind of like the bat's bed. Our next word is wingspan. Everyone try to say wingspan. Very good. The wingspan is the distance from the end of one wing to the end of the other. So that's like if you measure from the tip of my finger and you go all the way across my body and measure to the tip of my other finger. That would be my wingspan. Our last word is a big one. It's echolocation. Everyone try to say that one. Echolocation. Very good. So this is when bats use high-pitched noises to know where objects are located. So this is when they see using their ears. So there are many different types of bats in the world, and we're going to learn about a few in our unit. The first one we're going to learn about is the little brown bat. So to learn about the little brown bat, we're going to read a book called Shadows of Night by Barbara Bash. The evening sky deepens into night. Birds return to their roosts. Who can tell me what a roost is? Who remembers? Right, it's like a bed. It's the place where a bat anchors itself to rest. So it's like their bed. So birds return to their roosts, and many other animals quietly nestle into their burrows. But some creatures are just waking up. Dark shapes flutter across the sky, suddenly turning, diving, swooping. Bats are beginning to hunt. This is the story of the little brown bat, one of the most common bats in North America. For its small size, this species has a very long lifespan, sometimes more than 30 years. 30 years, that's a long time, isn't it, class? No. Hundreds of other baby bats. Who remembers what a baby bat's called? Right, a pup. Very good. So hundreds of other baby bats, called pups, were born in the barn around the same time. When the mother bat goes out to hunt at night, they leave the pups clustered tightly together, hanging from the barn ceiling. Waiting for their mothers to return, they romp and tussle like kittens. To a human, the heat and dense, pungent smell of the bat roost is overpowering. But to the bat pup, the roost is a wonderfully warm and comforting place. When the mother returns, she finds her baby in the midst of all the screaming pups by calling out and listening for its particular cry. When she reaches her baby, she sniffs and licks it, making sure it's the right one. Then she settles down and feeds her baby. Look at how tightly all the little baby bats are clustered together. In about 3 weeks, the young bats are ready to fly. Their pink skin is now covered with soft brown fur, and their wings have grown much larger. The first attempts to fly around the barn are full of confusion. Jostling, squeaking pups are everywhere. One young bat manages to take off and fly to the other side without colliding into the others. But landing is much harder. The pup doesn't know how to flip around at the end of its flight, so it lands heads up and has to turn around awkwardly on the wall. You see all the baby bats are getting really big and they're trying to fly around. By the time they're a month old, the young bats have begun to follow their mothers out at night, imitating their flight pattern and learning to hunt. Now, the young bats are almost fully grown. Their wingspan is about 10 inches. Who remembers what a wingspan means? Right, very good. It's how long their wings are across their whole body. Very good. So that's about 10 inches at this point. Yet their bodies are less than 3 inches long. So from head to down to their feet, that's only 3 inches. But going from end of wing to end of wing, that's already 10 inches. They weigh only 1/4 of an ounce. That's less than how much a pencil weighs. They're so small. Soon they are making quick turns, tight rolls at top speed. They slide around in midair. They will need these skills to catch fast-flying insects. A bat's wing is very similar to the structure of a human hand. Very thin membrane of skin, thinner than the thinnest silk, stretches between the fingers. So that means that they have skin all between, like where you have gaps between your fingers. The thumb and each finger can move separately, allowing the bat to change its shape of its wing, and therefore the direction of its flight in a split second. These fast movements make bats seem to flicker across the sky. Most people think bats are blind, but little brown bats have eyes that allow them to see in dim light. Much more important is the bat's ability to see with its ears. Who remembers what seeing with your ears means? Who remembers what word we used to describe that? Very good, yes, echolocation. As it flies, the bats make a continuous clicking sound, too high-pitched for humans to hear. But by listening to the echoes from the clicks, the bats can instantly determine the size, speed, and direction of objects in the dark. This process is called echolocation. Here's the picture. Little brown bats hibernate for about 6 months. During this time, they wake only once or twice to get sips of water from the droplets off of their fur. By the end of winter, their coats are dull and matted, and their bodies are thin. Now it's springtime again, and the world outside the cave is coming to life. A few scout bats have already flown out to check the temperature. Inside the cave, the bats begin to stir. One by one, their hearts start to beat a little faster and their breath quickens. One by one, their thin bodies shiver and their tiny, bright eyes open. Slowly, their wings stretch out and pull back. Gradually, one more wing extends and begins to flap. Finally, it's time to merge. And that's the story of the little brown bat. What do you guys think? Yeah, very good. Okay, well now we're going to do a little activity. So in the book, our bats lived in a cave, right? They were hibernating in a cave. So we are going to go back to our seats quietly, and we're going to color a little brown bat of our own so that it can sleep in our very own classroom cave. How cool is that going to be? All right, so I need everyone to go ahead and stand up and go back to your seats. Okay, class, I need everyone to go ahead and come join me down here on the floor. We're going to start our science lesson again today. So who remembers what we talked about yesterday? Raise your hand if you remember. Right, we talked about the little brown bat. We started our bat unit yesterday. So first, let's go ahead and review our vocabulary that we also learned yesterday doing this interactive game on the smartboard. All right, very good, guys. You guys did so good with that vocabulary review game. So now we're going to go ahead and do some station work. So I'm going to explain the stations first before we get into them. So station 1 is going to be our vocabulary matchup station. So it's going to be using the vocabulary words that we just reviewed and learned yesterday, and we're going to do that. So you're going to get a piece of paper. It's going to look just like this. You are going to use your scissors to cut all around the outside edges here, see? Just like that. So now you have this part, and then you have this part cut out. Then what you're going to do is you're going to cut each one of these little boxes out. You're going to cut just along the black lines, and then you're going to match up the vocabulary word. These are the words that are just one word on this in the box, bolded, to the definition that's on this side. Okay, that's station 1. When you're done with that, you're going to glue it into your interactive notebook. Station 2 is a measuring station. Your worksheet's going to look just like this, and we're going to measure the size of our little brown bat using a couple different objects. So the first object we're going to use is paper clips, then we're going to use a ruler, then we're going to use counters, then we're going to measure our little brown bat with dice, and then we're going to measure it using Unifix cubes. So I'm going to show you the example with the ruler. So who remembers how to measure things using a ruler? Right, very good. So you put one end down here, touching where the little line hits the 0, and you're going to bring it all the way over to here, and you're going to see which line it ends on, and you're going to write down what that number is, okay? All right, very good. The next station is, what does a little brown bat eat? So I have some pictures on this worksheet, and you're going to cut out all around the pictures, okay? And then you're going to glue the pictures of the items that the little brown bat eats. And if you can't remember, on the table there is a printout of the page in our book, remember, the book we read yesterday, Shadows of the Night, that has listed items of what the little brown bat eats. So you're going to glue the items that the little brown bat eats into your interactive notebook. The last station is going to be the teacher station, and that is where we're going to explore the bat cave that we colored our little brown bats for yesterday. Remember doing that? Right. So I have them all hung up in our little bat cave. We're going to get to explore that and learn a little bit more about the little brown bat's ecosystem.